taken a particular interest in the pūoro of Ngati Tumutumu? What's the story of that?
It's an interesting situation. So yeah, it's very smart of you to recognise that. So yeah, I am Ngati Tumutumu. On the register we're Tumutumu Rahiri, and we come from Mt Te Aroha, on the Hauraki Plains. So I whakapapa from Mōkena Hau of Ngati Tumutumu. He was a peacemaker. He was known as the peacemaker for that area. And he was very much a forward-thinking man who recognised that that if we didn't assimilate, that we'd be wiped out. I was going to use the word decimated. And that so he encouraged his people of he's my great grandfather. He encouraged us to learn to read and write, and to learn to speak English, to take upon us the ways of the Pākehā, to honour ourselves as Māori, but to keep that guarded and protected, in case it should bring upon us destruction. And he was very much a man of his people, and it's phenomenal that Ngati Tumutumu was a musical instrument. Now, this is a very large discussion, and I've been considering writing a paper about it because it's personal, and I think that all detectives have to have some kind of a personal relationship to the case. So Tumutumu is currently, as we use them, they're struck instruments. Usually they're stone, and usually they're small. And this definition is a southern definition from the South Island. So Tumutumu are small stones that we play and we tap and so on. And here in the north we talk about pahu, and pahu are a larger instrument. There's a gong aspect to pahu. There were wooden ones, rako, there were stone, kohatu ones. But pahu are large, or that's in the current understanding around the instruments. It's grown out of the knowledge that Richard and Helene and Brian have collected. So it's interesting that this iwi to which I whakapapa, that comes off Mt Te Aroha, has this name, Tumutumu. Tumu, of course, word means stump, a tree stump, tumu. So that's interesting in itself, when we first start immediately exploring the definition. Oh, stump, this is something that's large. Now, Mt Te Aroha, when it comes to pūoro, is probably most well known for the stories around the large pahu that was found, that existed on the mountain, and on a good day could be heard in Matamata. So that's, I think 20k as the crow flies, not as you drive, but so this large struck instrument could be heard in a long way away across the plain on a clear day. There's been a great deal of discussion, between myself and various other members of Tumutumu around whether it was wood or whether it was stone, where it might have been. But yet, here we have this story about a large struck instrument on the side of the mountain that was very loud. And here we are called the people of Tumutumu. And so, again, we have a mystery, which I was very heavily intrigued by and invested in for a great deal of time. And it comes and it goes, there's an ebb and a flow around wanting to explore this more. And I feel that it will be something that I will fall into and go digging for in the future. Currently I'm kind of don't really have time, but I would love to see this instrument returned to our mountain and to my people again while I'm alive. So I can see a project there that will be very personal and very fulfilling, and possibly unearth a great deal of more mystery than actual answers. But yeah, interesting around pahu. So pahu is a word that's used in the islands. So linguistically speaking, it's a word that's used in the islands. It's a skin drum. And it is, again, so it opens this whole conversation around Māori instruments and why we didn't have a skin drum. Because it would seem that we didn't. I've heard the discussion around there being around the fact that we didn't have large land mammals for skin, though a number of pahu in the islands are shark skin drums. But yeah, pahu is a drum, so it's a large struck instrument, and it's something that's become that is clearly part of our language as Māori, but I wonder, I have a wondering around whether it is a word that's been brought into our reo through colonial contact, through ethnographers, seeing a large struck thing and going, oh, it's like the pahu. But pahu, there's a lot of onomatopoeia in the names of taonga pūoro. Pahu were, we do know that pahu were instruments that were large, were wooden and hung in pā, and were struck often at times of siege throughout the night, so that the invader was given the impression that everyone was up and awake and ready. And it would seem that there are no existing pahu left, and that may have something to do with the fact that it was the first thing destroyed on siege. So when a siege was accomplished, the pahu was burnt. And we have a model. There's a small model in Te Papa here, which reflects the iconography that is found in Best around pahu, but it's just small. It's not large and hung, but you can see what it might be. So this small model is a reflection of the craft and making culture of late 19th century, early 20th century Māori culture, around the keeping of arts alive through the making of models, and I always relate immediately to the way that my dad had a wakator, full, war waka model on his desk as a principal, and was something that was encouraged through the tourism trade, model making. So it's a complicated. You soon find that it's very kind of interwoven, but yet disparate. And Tumutumu. It's an honour to be of the people of that have a musical instrument as our name. And I mean Mt Te Aroha. I mean, what a phenomenal mountain. In the way that it's known throughout the ages to unify and to bring peace and love and healing and so on.